It might have been worth Optimus Prime staying dead in the last movie so that he couldn't narrate the next one.
Sending Optimus Prime narrating in a Transformers movie. As much as the internet hates these movies, Peter Cullen's voice is still fantastic.
Opening flashback brought to you by the Peter Jackson School of Beginning Movies.
Arbitrary movie reference.
Our defeat was all but certain.
Look, the people who saw the first two movies already know this shit, and the people who showed up for the third without seeing the first two don't care.
Besides the fact that it's nice to have a refresher, this isn't just recapping information we already know. Optimus goes on to explain there was a spaceship that would have changed the planet's fate, which is the same ship that crashes on the moon, which kickstarts the plot of this movie.
This ship, which was shot on Cybertron, doesn't actually crash from its damage until Earth's moon gets in its way.
Since CinemaSins likes being super nitpicky, I'll do that too. Sentinel Prime ship was shot down over Cybertron, not on. Do you seriously not know the basic idea of proofreading your script?
Movie Forrest Gump's JFK into the film because movies about transforming alien robots need all the authenticity they can computer generate.
So you're sending the movie for being authentic? Wouldn't that be a good thing and deserve a send off?
It's one small step for man.
Also, did we have to relive the events of the entire moon landing? Couldn't we have just started right here and went straight to the part that is so important to the third Transformers film?
Maybe. But the way I see it is we're basically seeing the moon landing all over again, but this time we see added clips of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin's mission of exploring the Cybertron ship. This is a cool way of making it feel like you're seeing the real Apollo 11 mission. It's just extended.
Scene does not contain it. Oh, who am I kidding? Even I can find something to enjoy in this scene.
It's really funny to me how these kinds of statements were in your older videos, but now you're trying to be an SJW. Bet you're embarrassed that you said this, right?
What a gorgeous box.
No one said this movie was subtle.
It's literally a Transformers movie. Who walked into a Transformers movie expecting subtlety?
Yesterday, that one was in my underwear drawer.
Well, you have to cut these robots a break. There are no female robots except for that Isabel Lucas bot from the last movie. Transformers are like the Smurfs, and she was the Smurfette, and she's dead now.
So, are you saying that it's okay for these robots to look inside of Carly's underwear drawer because they are not many female Transformers? I'm genuinely curious if modern Jeremy has watched this video back.
Bot and the Hound.
Arbitrary movie reference.
Haha, foreshadowing the fact that the character in this movie that is voiced by Spock goes crazy. Also, what a stupid thing to foreshadow.
This is foreshadowing? It honestly looks more like a fun Easter egg to me. Oh, right, you don't like when movies make references to other movies.
What if she dumps us like the last girl?
Let's face it was Michael Bay who did the dumping.
Technically, it was Steven Spielberg, since he apparently was upset at Megan Fox's behavior on set in the last film. Yeah, I know, it's weird to think Spielberg, of all people, was involved with these movies.
In the years since our arrival,
He's just gonna start narrating again like we didn't just sit through 14 minutes of movie?
He's basically updating the audience on what the Autobots have been up to recently. How else would you want this information explained to you?
Transformers fool the first checkpoint soldiers with a decoy car, but then decide, F it, let's just kill the arguably innocent humans at the second checkpoint.
Are you sure that they actually killed them? I mean, it does look pretty fatal, but I think the better assumption is that Bumblebee destroyed the building so they can't call in that there are intruders. He does have a targeting system. I'm sure he would intentionally miss them.
The facility's name is Chernobyl.
Here we go dragging Chernobyl into this. That thing melted down in 1986, and it's been toxic to every movie it's been in ever since.
Okay. It's a sin for the movie to include Chernobyl? No, seriously, that's all he says. I don't know what's wrong with that.
Optimus Prime is fine just chilling and driving while the Decepticon destroys the entire building.
If you've seen this movie, then you know that this is a lie. He does eventually transform and help fight this giant worm. CinemaSins cut off the clip before he could do that.
What the hell was that thing?
After 2 movies of seeing every kind of Transformer imaginable, Lennox is still astonished when he sees a slightly different Transformer.
Slightly? Did the previous 2 movies have this thing? I legit don't remember that.
that is Shockwave.
Feel free to masturbate.
Jeremy says boner.
It's impossible.
Character living in sci-fi universe declares something impossible cliche.
I would have let this sin slide, but you specifically said sci-fi universe. I've heard this kind of sentence in every other movie that isn't sci-fi, so why does this extra detail matter?
This is an engine part from a long-lost Autobot ship.
Man, does everything in these movies have to be long lost? Can't anything just be recently lost? Or always unlost?
That wouldn't be very interesting, would it? Not to mention, this part came from the spaceship that crashed on the moon back in the 60s. How are you having difficulty paying attention to a Transformers movie?
None of the Autobots or army guys hear these bullets being fired.
That's because this is happening around another side of the building where Prime and his soldiers can't hear this.
Was Christopher Walken not available to take this bullet for John Malkovich?
I've noticed you send bad movies for having celebrity actors in them, so even if Christopher Walken was in this movie, wouldn't you have sent that too?
Also, Catherine Keener isn't possessing John Malkovich to have sex with Cameron Diaz in this scene.
Arbitrary movie reference.
When the NSA wants funding, they call me.
New important bad government character is conveniently giving her character description and bio to some dude on the other end of the phone when we meet her.
Bad? I mean, Mirring isn't necessarily a great character, but she doesn't really do all that much evil. In fact, she does try and help during the ending climax.
If I told you you're about to see a movie with Frances McDormand, John Malkovich, and John Turturro, you'd probably think along the lines of a Coen Brothers film, right? Do you know how much money I would pay to see the Coens direct a Transformers movie? All the money.
Exactly what I was saying earlier. You send the movie for having these popular celebrities in it, but ask for Christopher Walken to be in this.
My name's Q.
Not to be confused with Q from the Bond films, because that would be ripping those movies off.
After doing a bit of research, apparently that was actually intentional. Wheeljack's name being Q is meant to be an homage to Q from the Bond films, since he provides the heroes the gadgets that they need. This isn't necessarily a ripoff as much as it is a callback.
Allow me to please introduce to you.
The NASA founders and Buzz Aldrin must have been waiting for their cue to dramatically walk in. Oh man, they dragged Buzz Aldrin into this shit, didn't they?
Again, you were the one who wanted Christopher Walken. And I personally found it really cool that Buzz freaking Aldrin was in this, but that's probably just me.
The ship's name was the Ark.
Because we've run out of names to call things, let's just steal from the Bible.
That's not a sin of this movie. This ship was called the Ark in the original G1 cartoon, so take this accusation with them.
The great Sentinel Prime.
Another old-ass, long-dead Transformer? Man, after the Fallen and Jetfire in the last movie, not to mention the robot Angel Primes in the Heaven Vision, I'm ancient Transformered out.
Irony.
3 movies in, and they still think we care about Sam's love life.
Yep, I agree. It's always annoying how all 5 of these movies focus so much time on the humans who aren't that interesting. 1 cent off.
Look at them curves. Elegant, isn't it?
Okay, we know you hate Megan Fox. Do we have to spend the whole movie telling her how unacceptable she is?
Was anybody watching this clip immediately thinking about Megan Fox? Because I think it was just you, dude.
Even robots have to look like Lawrence of Arabia when visiting the Middle East.
Arbitrary movie reference.
Everyone who isn't needed for the next scene conveniently gets off the elevator at once.
Or Sam's job doesn't require it to walk out of the elevator like the rest of these employees, and Wang intentionally stayed back to talk with him.
Of all the bathrooms on all the floors in this super huge mega office building, the boss picks the one Sam is having a non-gay bathroom stall fight with another dude in because comedy.
That's the joke.
Laserbeak was given explicit orders to kill all his human helpers, and he's done so, except with Wang. Because Wang is played by an actor that demands more screen time, I guess. It's not like Megatron said, kill them all except Wang because he has a few more important tasks to do for us.
Again, you're not paying attention to the movie. Laserbeak needed Wang for something else, and only decided to kill him now because he told Sam about the Ark.
I don't know him. I would never say anything. Oh, okay. I sabotage him and having said just like I promised, I'm putting a blind spot in the program as a bonus. What more do you want from me?
Jerry, you are my favorite.
I'll do whatever you want me to do.
I know, but my superiors need me to.
Please, you don't have to do
Suicide you.
You don't have to.
What did you say to Witwicky?
Oh, shit!
Unlike the last movie, Sam is totally worthless in this one, so kill him already.
Worthless? Sam discovered that the Decepticons had raided the Ark earlier and also killed Dylan Gould in the climax.
Mean boss lady who hates Sam and hates that Sam is here decides to just warn him not to say anything and lets him and the girlfriend remain.
Because Sam told her that he helped the Transformers save the world twice? And he has information he wants to share with them?
Also, Sam just happens to show up at the exact moment Optimus is about to revive Sentinel Prime.
Yeah. So?
It's the great matrix of leadership.
It's a key that turns on the machine that blows up the suns. But as it turns out, you only need to use the key to get a dead Transformer running. So I don't know why they bothered wasting time blowing up suns.
The matrix of leadership is more like a power source. Not to mention, did you watch the last movie? I know we all want to erase that movie from our memories, but there, they used it to resurrect Optimus after Megatron killed him.
You are home, Sentinel.
Well, Earth home, but yeah.
Cybertron
It's not a place. It's a people. You saved 5 of them, including the control pillar.
Alien technobabble.
So let me get this straight. The movie is explaining some crucial plot points that are important for the story, and Jeremy just sends it and labels it as alien technobabble.
It defies your laws of physics.
Hey, dude, they're not our laws. Physics laws apply to the whole universe.
Actually, they are our laws. The idea of physics came from humans, and since Cybertron has a ton of technology that exceeds our own, they most likely have their own theories.
Exactly how many Autobots are going to be allowed to work with Sam in his not legal, not sanctioned investigation?
Allowed? You think they're being allowed to instead of helping Sam undercover?
Successful director rips off the highway scene from every movie he's ever done.
You mean scenes he made?
No one in the cars ahead is frightened of all the destruction happening behind them right now.
What do you expect them to do? Stop and watch the Decepticons? If I saw cars suddenly transform into scary looking robots behind me, I'm stepping on it.
Also, why did the Decepticons wait until now to try and kidnap Sentinel? They had plenty of chances right after he was revived. Is it because Sam finally figured out what they want to do with him, and the plot only moves whenever Sam figures out something?
They're not trying to kidnap Sentinel. The movie later reveals that Sentinel Prime is working with Megatron, so the fact that you didn't delete this sin is just laughable.
I would say Michael Bay is paying homage to Predator here, but I mean, this is Michael Bay we're talking about. He only pays homage to his own penis.
Considering the Q homage I mentioned earlier, also Jeremy says boner.
A deal had to be made with Megatron.
Sentinel Prime turns out to be the bad guy, which all the 11-year-olds in the audience found surprising.
Come on, you, of all people, saw this coming? I've proven that you don't pay attention to this movie at all, so you're just lying. Not to mention, every video reaction I've seen around this movie proves that this twist was legit surprising, so I'm calling BS.
Also, this makes loads of no sense. If a deal was made, why did the Decepticons shoot Sentinel Prime down during the war? Were they hoping that he would crash land on the moon and then 50 years later come up with his convoluted plot to get the pillars back? The f*** out of here.
But this contradicts your previous sin. You claim that you knew the Sentinel was evil, but then bring up a reason for why this twist doesn't make much sense. In fact, that's why people found it surprising, because nothing before this even hinted at the twist.
Hey, Optimus decided to show up. What the f*** has he been doing this whole time? He was only 10 minutes behind for some stupid reason that is totally unclear. Did he stop for donuts while this was going on? His whole life is this, right here. Where does he have to be other than right here?
You have just answered your own question. He was 10 minutes behind. And why is it stupid? You can't say something is stupid because you think it is.
Take a look, Optimus. This is all on you.
Correct.
So is it a sin for a good guy to make a mistake? That's dumb.
Michael Bay hates America.
If this was a good guy shooting Lincoln here, I'd believe you, but it's not. A bad guy is doing it, which means the exact opposite of what you're saying.
You let my hand go? What the hell was that?
Epps just shrugs off the weirdness and assumes Sam is simply a crazy dickhead.
This is Shia LaBeouf we're talking about here. You know, the guy who has memes over this.
Do it!
Helicopter blades slowed down to be in time with the music cliche.
What other movie has done this?
Goofball henchman hacks bad guy's cell phone camera for live video feed and doesn't even need Morgan Freeman's help to do it.
Arbitrary movie reference.
You're not going alone.
That's right, Tyrese. You act the shit out of that reaction shot.
Epps said, "You're not going alone," and this is him walking to Sam to tell him that he will help him rescue Carly. Oh, that's right, you don't like Tyrese Gibson, and so want to send him.
I realize the Decepticons probably view them as lost leaders, but Chicago is a huge city, and they're just killing tons and tons of slave labor for a show of force that exactly 0 people on Earth need to see to believe the Decepticons are deadly. Also, why destroy Chicago again? Was there a reason to lay waste to it?
These two sins are saying the same thing. Double dipping.
The kid with wicked...
This is the 3rd movie, and this guy's been working with the kid in all 3 of them. For him to continue mispronouncing the name is just insulting at this point. To the audience.
And yet, years after this video, you would go on to mispronounce Shuri's name despite it being said multiple times in multiple movies.
Shocker. Also, I'm glad Optimus came back to save the day, but how did he know exactly where Sam was? Or was this just a chance meeting, which would probably make it worth 2 sins?
It's more likely that they arrived here to fight the Decepticons and then saw that Sam needed their help.
No, she totally sees him immediately. How stupid do you think your audience is?
Same thing I ask about these videos.
Well, someone's seen Back to the Future too.
Arbitrary movie reference.
That is one scary-ass Decepticon!
Earn that paycheck, Tyrese.
What was so bad about that line delivery? Or did you just want to complain about Tyrese again?
They got my trailer. I need that flight tech.
What? You haven't needed the trailer once this whole trilogy, but now you absolutely need that shit?
I am getting so sick of telling you that you don't pay attention to this movie. The trailer has more of Optimus Prime's gear, including a freaking jetpack. Not to mention he used it earlier in this same movie when he first fought Driller.
Lots of weapons to choose from to stop this helicopter. I choose the buzzsaw.
What's the problem? It worked, didn't it?
Easiest targets to hit ever. Still misses.
I wouldn't call that easy, since they're relatively small and far away from the craft. Why do you always think aiming is the easiest thing ever?
Also, if they were going to destroy Chicago for no reason, why not destroy all the buildings within sightline of the pillars? They went through all this trouble of wrecking the city, but left convenience everywhere.
They only intended to kill humans when they shot Chicago, and they thought the Autobots were dead. I think it's believable that some buildings were left.
Heroes survived Decepticon attack and skyscraper by utilizing time-tested method of jumping out the window.
And then they slide down the building and shoot the windows to go to a lower floor. Pay attention!
Yeah, that guy's gonna die. Let's pan away from him.
Because he's an extra that nobody cares about?
Is everybody okay?
How could everyone possibly be okay, you jackass?
He's obviously asking if everyone's alive, which I think is a fair thing to ask.
I am all out of fucks to give about the building in this movie that defied gravity, physics, and all the other known laws of anything.
Dude, come on. We're talking about a movie where giant robots transform into cars and then are trying to transform the entire world into another planet. This is the least unbelievable thing.
The fuck has he been this whole time? Optimus takes massive breaks and shows up way too late to everything.
He was grabbing his trailer so he could put on his jetpack. This is what Optimus needed that trailer for, remember? Why are you so bad at watching this movie?
Finally, we see the rest of the world in this plan, but these cities didn't need to be destroyed for some reason.
The third time you've criticized the Decepticons for shooting Chicago. We get it!
What a treat! You and me, alone.
How did this asshole know where Sam was?
Because he saw them and decided to land to kill them?
That the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Discount Star Trek.
Yeah, I know. Leonard Nimoy also said this exact line in Star Trek. However, the context is completely different. When Spock said it, he was talking about how one person can die if that means the rest of the population can live. Here, Sentinel is saying that the humans can go extinct since that means Cybertron gets to live. It's essentially the same idea, but with a darker side, which might be the cleverest thing in all these movies, which isn't saying much, but still.
Bridge down.
Tudyk Ex Machina.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Off-brand Inception noise.
Sending Inception's music.
Oh, sorry. Any sins the last couple minutes? I literally quit watching.
Disrespecting your audience.
All your work to bring Sentinel back, and now clearly he has all the power.
What's worse, that Megatron falls for the reverse psychology, or that this movie is still leaning on such overused cliches at the 2-hour, 19-minute mark?
Megatron is a power-hungry maniac. It makes sense he'd believe her.
You didn't betray me. You betrayed yourself.
Blah blah me, blah blah yourself cliche.
That's not even the real sin. The real sin is Optimus executing Sentinel the way he does here. It's so violent and jarring, it doesn't even feel like Optimus Prime. Like, maybe if he had a sadder tone in his voice, or said, "I'm sorry, old friend," or something like that, I'd give this scene a pass. But this is just too much.
I wonder what Optimus has to say about all this.
In any war.
No, wait, I didn't really mean that.
And you're sending Optimus for narrating again. Cool. I've noticed you send bad movies for having celebrity actors in them. I've noticed you send bad movies for having celebrity actors in them. I've noticed you send bad movies for having celebrity actors in them. So even if I've noticed you I've noticed you send bad movies for having celebrity actors in them. So even if oh my gosh. I've noticed you send bad movies for having celebrity actors in them. So even if I've noticed you send bad movies for having celebrity actors in them. So even if I've noticed you send bad movies for having celebrity actors in them. So even if oh my gosh, Christopher Walken, I can say his name. I've noticed you send bad movies for having celebrities in them, so even if... I've noticed you... Okay, so even if Christopher Walken was in this movie... Okay. I've noticed you send bad movies for having celebrity actors in them, so even if Christopher Walken was in this movie, wouldn't you have sent that too? Finally!